So as we start the episode and review the 2033 season after winning the league title last season, do we have an opportunity to do it again? Did we regain the title? Also, someone asked what happened with the Norway job. Probably best I address that in this episode as well.
This is just an intro, you better believe it. Jesus, that was bad. Yep, welcome to the series.
So welcome to today's episode. We are going to work our way through a few things and update how things have been going. I do want to kind of show off a youngster we've got who is developing quite nicely, shall we say. So we're going to check out all these things. Weirdly, I thought of checking the average attendance for our under-19s. 64 fans a game. I'd be interested in 10 years' time if that's over 100. I mean, Rosemark, 173. We'd take that. Think of the income. In terms of our under-19s, we came mid-table, 6th place. After that shock of winning the title in Season 1, we've came in 6th place this season, and I would say that's more our level that early in the save, in the journey. So we'll take that. But I want to show you Daniel Michel Hansche Olsen, who we will rename for a shorter name if we do promote him. But he's actually really, really good. Another year or two in our under-19s and could be decent. He could be decent. He is developing a lot better than I thought he was going to be in terms of quality. He's gone up to a 4-star pretty much at the minute as well. A couple of the players I want to mention who have been promoted with massive contracts at the minute. Do you know what? Torsving, I should never gave him such a big contract. He's still not a decent player, but he's nowhere near as good as I dreamed he was going to be when he was 15, and I gave him a £5,000 a week contract. But we also have, let me put it this way. Oh no, because one of the guys I gave a contract to, his contract doesn't actually kick in until the start of next season. Oh crap, that means I actually have to remember who it was. There's a player who we've gave a contract to, who I don't remember who it is. Was it him? Do you have a contract starting? No. I'll tell you what. Tell you how we're going to do it. This is the type of professional stuff you don't get elsewhere. These are on loan. We look for there. He's agreed new contract. We found him. We found him. So, over Alexander Eggerdink. I mean, I love the name. We've gave a new contract to. He's going to turn professional at the end of the season. I honestly think he has potential as well. Let me know what you think about a couple of them youngsters. Am I throwing the money in at the wrong people? But I think he could develop quite well. He's only 16 still. Along with that goalkeeper, there's maybe 2 more academy players coming into our first team for next season. And then when you look at the squad and you think to yourself, Salte is going to be in our first team next season, in and around the first team squad, 6'6", still only 17, doesn't turn 18 until near the end of next season. The future's looking decent in terms of us having 3 or 4 academy players in the squad in 5 years' time. Actually, in the starting lineup. He honestly looks like he could develop really, really well. In fact, just quickly. Yeah, he's worked on defensive position, and I think we'll leave him on that. I think it's important he improves them mental attributes, 100%. So, what shall we... We're going to recap how we've done in the Champions League for... No. Tell you what, we're going to recap, because we can go from here. Why did we quit the Norway job? So, this was where we took the job, and we did okay here. We did okay. But then we came into these games here, and we started work qualifying really, really badly. 2 draws and a defeat away to Israel, drawn at home to Kosovo and away to Turkey. We were looking really, really bad. And to be honest with you, I did not enjoy it at all. Like, when the international break came round, I was annoyed that I had to select my squad. After all them years of waiting for this job to pop up, and when it got to this point, I was getting wound up. So I just quit. This journey is about enjoying it for you and for me. And I just quit it. Do you know what? Get back to just being Egerson manager, focus on that, and go from there. So let's recap how the Champions League has been going. Our first time in the group stage of this competition. It's our first game in the Champions League group stage, and we came up against Lyon away from home, and Sander Brunn picked up our goal in a 1-1 draw. Sander Brunn really is developing nicely, by the way. Let me know what you think of him. But 10 goals, 11 assists this season, not bad. Now that was then followed up with a 2-1 victory. Samara again, both goals. And that saw us have 4 points after 2 games in the Champions League. And we were living the dream. That was played at Stavanger, by the way, the SR Bank Arena. Next game was away to Borussia Dortmund, and we lost the game 1-0. 3 shots to 17, 32% possession, 68, but we lost 1-0. I've got to be happy with that. We then had Barcelona travel to the SR Bank Arena in Stavanger, where we set a new record for income at 775k from that game. We lost 1-0 again, only 2 shots, 37% possession, but 1-0 to Dortmund, 1-0 to Barcelona. I genuinely was impressed with how solid we looked. But after them defeats, we bounced back against Red Bull Salzburg and got 2-1 victories. Samare and Pinker on the score sheet. And that's 7 points so far in the Champions League after that game. Also, I don't quite understand the rules behind this or why some are there and some are there, but this game was played in Egersund at the Idrettsparken. Can't I just play all my games at home? I mean, yes, we don't get as many attendance, but it's at home. I would like that, please. And we finished our year in the Champions League with a 1-0 victory away from home to Sparta Prague, with Samara on the score sheet, and this saw us sitting in 17th place in the Champions League with 10 points. Now, you will see 24th place has 6 points. There's 2 games left. All of these teams need basically from 4 points. So I need about 6 of these teams not to win the last 2 games, and we qualify for the knockout round. It's a big ask, but I honestly think even with back-to-back defeats, we could scrape, I was going to say that's not a word, Paul, scrape in to the knockout round to the Champions League with 10 points. I honestly think we can. But yeah, we have 10 points. I would not have predicted that before the season started. So in and amongst all of that, we had the league campaign to compete against. So we had the Bird Glimp game, which you guys saw. That was followed up with a victory of Stabæk 2-1. Lalo and Snowen on score sheet before defeat to Lillestrøm. We then beat Viking 2-0. And then we had the run of form which cost us the title. So we lost to Ålesund, we drew with Grorud, we lost to Odds, we drew against Sogndal, and we lost to Vålerenga. At that point, we were done, in my opinion. Now, we did beat Molde on the last day, 1-0, and you can see we did end the season with back-to-back wins in the Champions League and a victory over Molde. We finished in 2nd place in the league by 1 point. By 1 point, we blew it. So I honestly think we would have had a chance to win it, but we just collapsed for a couple of months. We looked really, really bad. Now, we have secured Champions League football again, which is crucial in my opinion. Really, really important to get that. But 2nd place, it's not the worst. If you told me when we started this campaign, 10 years down the line, you'd have won the title and then finished 2nd, I'd have probably took it. But we left so much on the table. Now, if we have a look how things have gone, then salary per annum wise, we're down in 12th at 3.3. So we've got to be happy with that. In terms of transfer spend, we made 12.65 million this year, so we definitely top on that. In terms of average attendance, we're all the way down to 4,586, which is 98%. And we did sell out 8 times at home. Now, we are still in the planning stage of a new stadium. It's been for a year now. So maybe over the winter we'll come with good news and there'll be a new stadium. Maybe, but at this point I don't know what's going on. In terms of how we've looked compared to other teams as well, average possession, 54% in 4th place. I do want to work on that. But when we play that keep ball style of football, we really do look weak sometimes. So it's a bit concerning compared to how other teams do. In terms of goals, we had the 9th highest with 47 goals in 30 games, which isn't the best, to be honest with you. Defence-wise, though, we did have the best defence in the league. Now, when you think about it, that our 2 centre-back partnerships for the second half of the season were quite young. it tells how good we were in the first half of the season. We do need to come up with some sort of solution, with 32 goals conceded in 30 games. And when I do speak about our defensive centre-back partnership, obviously we have Orian Olsen, who is a very solid 20-year-old defender, and alongside him is Tom Lalho, however we're going to say it, who, again, is very, very solid. But, I mean, the age of both of my defenders is 38. Pepe just played against Arsenal in real life. He's 41. And that's one guy. I don't know. I honestly don't know what we're going to do. If we're going to bring in a mid-20s Norwegian defender and break our bank, spend big, or take the risk that when they turn 21, 19, 22 and 20, are they going to get better and better? And can we make this our first choice centre-back partnership? Again, one of the issues maybe is the fact that both of them have quite low passing stats, 6 and 7. Maybe they are not our long-term options just because they can't pass the ball. We can't work the ball out when they can't pass it. These are all options I'm going to look at. These are all ideas, thoughts I'm going to look into over the winter break. But when we go through our squad, which we are going to do now, we are young and we are solid. So our goalkeeper Hansen is 27 now. He's going to be with us for a long time. He does have an optional extension of 3 years, which will take him up to 2038. So he's going to be sticking around. Basic at right wing back has been solid as a rock. 3 million from Mulder 2 years ago now. 72 caps for the club. Might be third season with us. Yeah, third season with us. Now, we've looked at our centre-backs. And Bastions playing a left wing back is just solid as a rock and is now delighted, happy, pleased to be at the club. I might actually remove that 2.9 million. We don't need that on there anymore because he doesn't want to leave. So we can go with that. I'm really pleased with him. Hegset really has become our defensive midfielder. He's just a bit better passing and stuff. So he has been fairly solid. We do still have the agreement that if someone offers 7 million, we'll let him go. Doesn't have a contract extension, so he has 3 years left on his contract, and that is it. So I think if in the next year he doesn't agree to stick around, we will possibly let him move on for around 5 million. Brun we looked at earlier on in the episode. I just think he's very solid. Only 19, is only going to get better. Alongside him you have Durich, who is now wanted by quite a few clubs. And I did say to you, I didn't think he would stick around. He's very, very good. And I was shocked we picked a player up of this quality. And I was more shocked he hadn't been capped by Serbia. He has been capped once since we signed him. Now valued at 5.2 million and wanted by some clubs. So we might end up losing him over the winter. Lawrence is actually transfer listed now. He wants to move on due to lack of football. He does have 1 year left in his contract and no clause. He's not valued quite high, 1 million. And at the minute, we don't have a lot of options to replace him with. So at the minute, I probably would just hold on to him, let him go for free. Unless I can replace him over the winter. Snowen he's so solid, but he's just not... He's just... I don't know, he's not impressed me. Like 6 assists in the league last season, only 2 this season. Then you have Samara up top, who, I mean, when we talk about Snow, not impressed me. Samara, 85 league games, 49 goals, 15 in 28 this season has been his worst for a couple of seasons. But as you can see, 29, 13 in the first season, 27, 21 last season, 15 this year. Hopefully next season he can get over the 20 mark. And now Hammer wants to go out on loan. I think I'm going to allow that to happen next season. We picked him up for 250k now at the start of this season. He's been our backup keeper for the end of this year. I think I'm going to let him go on loan if I can get him a loan within Norway for next year. So keep a lookout for him. Jurgensen, now 27 years old, obviously came to the academy. Has now dropped down to being just a squad player. Does not have a clause, so he is contracted another 3 years, then that is it. Gonzalez is developing nicely. Let me know what you think about him now. 20 years old, been with us for 2 seasons. And yeah, he's just a decent backup and he never complains as well, which I do like. Vedvik, who is our rotation and defensive mid, probably all round a better player, but just knows good passing. Maybe he comes back in as first choice next season due to the fact that Hegseth wants to leave. But I'm not too sure. Now, Shitrit, the Israeli who we picked up for 775k, I am going to try to get him on loan next year. We have a couple of players coming back off loan who I do think will be ahead of him. So see if I can get him out on loan, just to improve his value, and he's probably going to be one of them players we've signed. He goes out on loan, does well, and we then sell him for a bit of a profit. Pinker should be in the first team. He's just been come back from injury. Still labelled... Oh, no, he's now labelled as a winger. Was labelled as a wonder kid. But he's just been solid as a rock. But one thing I would say is assist-wise as well, not been amazing. So first season, 7 assists in 24. 8 assists in 24 this year. It's not the best ever, is it? Hjaltested, who we picked up for free from Iceland at the start of this season, has played 16 games this season, 2 starts, 14 sub appearances. He's just really solid. He's only 18, doesn't turn 19 until the end of next season. I think he's going to be a long-term player within this squad, no question about it. Knapskog is 26, does turn 27 this month. Very solid. Has agreed to drop down as just a squad player as well. Only has 1 year left on his contract and doesn't have an agreement for an extension. He's one of our highest, if not our highest earner. I don't like paying him that much. I would like to negotiate a cheaper contract, especially because he's an academy player who was with us at the start of the save. It would be nice to keep him around, so we might end up continuing to pay him a high wage just for that. Legred, who looks very young on his picture, 26 years old now, 73 appearances. This is his 4th completed season with us. And as you can see, as a winger, he has 4 assists in the league in 4 seasons. Basically, I don't think our team gets assists. Basically, and Pettersson has played 4 games for the club. He's got another year left on his contract. Then I think that youngster who's in our under-19s will come up as our backup keeper at the end of next season. So yeah, there's not much to talk about him. Hein Larsen, a couple of years left in his contract, 31 years old now. Another player who was with us when we started. Declining a little bit, but doesn't play much. He played 3 games this season, 1 start, 2 sub appearances. He's that type of player. You can play left back, right back, centre mid, left mid, right mid, attacking mid, left and right. He's just versatile. And we've got the striker we picked up for 2.2 million at the start of last season, and I really, really underused him. Like, massively underused him. And I know I should have used him more. I might get him out on loan. I can see Lazio interested. If I can get my money back, I might just let him go. Because I have agreed to sign someone who's I'm excited to bring in. I know. I can't stop signing people. Another player who I really shouldn't have signed. The unambitious personality really disappoints me, but he's fairly decent. We paid 575k for him. Been playing for our youth team, picked up 23 goals this season. So he is developing nice. Torsvinger obviously has been up in our first team. I've been tutoring him, trying to get rid of this personality. But he's been getting tutored all season. That personality's not budged. I might give him some game time next year, just as we continue to look to develop him. He's only 17, did come through the academy. But just the low determination, I think, lets him down. And Salter, we also have already looked at. I would like to look at our B team. There is some talent in here to mention, 100%. We do have the likes of Christensen, who's playing for the Norwegian under-19s at the minute. Very talented, obviously been with us since 2031. Has played a few games, 1 team for the first team, 1 game for the first team, 5 for the B team. Solid enough player. But mainly, I think we want to be looking at the people who've been out on loan. So, Jens Arons went on loan to Yev, played 5 games. I do think he probably would have been better off sticking around with us. But maybe he could be our backup if Hegseth leaves and Vedvik becomes our first choice defensive mid. Because it would be nice to have an academy player as the backup. Shelseth went out on loan. His contract is running out. He's been playing for Strumman in the 3rd tier and done fairly well. He's joining Rosenborg at the end of the season, so we wish him well. Horgum, now 21 years old, only 6 goals in the 3rd tier. lets me know that he's not going to be in our first team going forward. Jules, who we picked up from Stromscott, said on free transfers, being on loan at Jurvik Lynn. Played all season, never done amazing, so I think he's probably found his level. Sunder also been agreed on loan in the top flight for him, and he has done alright. He's played every single game and looked fairly solid. This is another option who could be our backup defensive mid-stroke centre-back and let Hegseth leave as soon as he wants to. Mom is someone who I did mention who we have players coming back off loan. Picked up for $1 million from Rosenborg in 2031. I've sent him out on loan for the last 2 seasons at Arndal. And he's done all right, nearly 1 in 2, and coming up to the age of 21, maybe can get a season as a backup in the first team. He's going to be leaving us, so we're not going to spend much time on him. A waste of 100k. This guy we picked up on a free transfer has another year left on his contract. He has been on loan in Norway at Arndal, and he has done fairly well. A 7.01 average for a central stroke defensive mid is quite high. In terms of information, another 1,319 days to gain citizenship. I think he has homegrown stays due to playing in Norway from such a young age. And the final one, who... Did you guys even know he was still at the club? João Vinicius. He's continued to develop. He's been playing in the top flight for Grorud for the last couple of years. He has another couple of years left in his contract still with us. We paid 18k for him, remember? Maybe it's time to welcome him back. I don't know, but he can play on the left wing, can play attack and mid. Maybe we send him on loan for another season at Grorud. Have his 3rd season there. Just see if he continues to develop. Give him another season. See if he can hit double figures in the top flight next season. If he does, maybe then he comes back to us. I'm not sure, but we've got potential. I've got options in terms of transfers we can look at making. I've got a couple of transfers already set up. If I click on transfer screen, you can see in terms of ins, we've got 3 players coming in. We spending, what is it, 3 million up front, rising to 4.2. You can see we've got 2 players from Norway coming in and 1 from Africa. And I think it's money well spent. In terms of finances going in next season, we've got 36 million in the bank at the minute. Champions League did us well. 21 million we've been given for next season. So over the winter, if I do want to look at a world-class central defender, we could spend the money. And our wage budget went from 90,000 a week to 307,000 a week. That's mad. That's absolutely mad. Now, also I want to show you is I did add some staff. So if we go to transfer history and we go to staff, you can see I did bring in a couple of under-19 coaches needed and seen just had a bit of depth. So we brought in this guy here. He was a Polish coach. I think he could do a decent job for the under-19s. Another one here, again, decent in all of these mental attributes I try to look at as well as the actual coaching attributes. He's Cameroonian stroke Belgian. I like bringing in these type of players, and this year we really did focus on bringing in some recruitment and performance analysis because in the past we've not had them in, and I think it's important we look at updating that. Staff-wise, we are fairly strong. Goalkeeping-wise, we're a bit weak, but the rest, we are the best in the division. Maybe long-term, we need to look at improving the goalkeeper side of things. In terms of our youth team, under-19 staff, we are fairly strong. We do have an under-19 coach running our contract who is not the best, so it does mean I can probably look at improving maybe our fitness or goalkeeper coaching over the winter period as well and continue to develop our under-19s because I do think it's important we improve that. Our manager is a very, very solid under-19 manager. So I think if he can stick around for a few years, I'll be happy. He's Brazilian as well, which does add a bit of flair. I mean, probably does make a difference, but to me, it adds that flair. Now, you will also see how I've been looking at bringing in people who use this tactic. And that's because long-term, I would like to move away from the 4-5-1 as a league tactic. I've used this for nearly the whole save with this Egerson team. And I would like to maybe look at using this a bit more. It's an option I'm thinking of, and we'll just see how it goes. In my offline save at the minute, I'm actually playing a wing-back tactic. And that could be an option in this save. But our team, isn't really set up for that at the minute, especially defensively. We don't have best defenders. The way our wingers are going assist-wise, it wouldn't be the worst option to just dump our wingers off, to be honest with you. But we've got options. We've got options in the team. We've got quality in the team. And it's going to be exciting to see how we can develop this going into the next season. See how we can push on. See how we can improve and develop this squad. So, wish me luck. Wish me something. We need to continue. We need to hopefully find a site to build a series. I know a perfect site. I can take them to it now if they come over. I can drive them to it. But apart from that, thank you for watching. I've been Paul, also known as the Northman, and I will see you for 2034. God, I got excited there.